the Oracle of Omaha, the literal GOAT of stock market investing, Warren Buffett. He is one of the best stock market investors of all time, and he has timeless quotes and lessons to learn for any stock market investor ever. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to invest just like Warren Buffett so you can almost have the same success as him. Again, if I had the blueprint of how he could have that success, I would be a billionaire too. But in this video, I'm really just going to show you how to invest like Warren Buffett so you can make money also and not lose it all. So let's get into it. Whoa. Before I share with you how to become a billionaire just like Warren Buffett, and for you to get your Gucci watch, get your Gucci belts, your Rolex watches, and your Lamborghinis, you're gonna have to like this video and subscribe to help the YouTube algorithm on this video. All right, guys, let's get into it. So the Oracle of Omaha, the $80 billion man, the Mr. Coca-Cola, this man is just drinking cherry cokes, dropping bombs on you guys, playing ping pong, and just destroying the competition. Right now, let me show you actually how to invest like Warren Buffett. If you don't know who Warren Buffett is, it's one of the best stock market investors of all time. Started basically with no money as a kid, built some money up, got an education, and started his own stock market investment company and built that into billions and billions and billions. What is known as Berkshire Hathaway. For decades has built a massive portfolio of great stocks, and he only follows a few simple rules and lessons that he shares absolutely for free to the public into becoming good stock market investors. So here are some of the rules. So what is Warren Buffett's absolute #1 rule for stock market investing? Well, it's a pretty simple quote. Rule 1, never lose money. Rule 2, don't forget about rule 1. What he really means by this quote is don't gamble, don't do anything really crazy with your money. Don't be like those boys and girls over in Wall Street bets, betting options and betting the house and gambling everything. Do very simple, smart, strategic stock market investments that will actually help you grow money and actually buy very good companies with a good track record of growth. Warren Buffett has always said this a million times. Being a good stock market investor, it's not being the most smartest or intellectual man in the world. It's about having the right temperament of being a stock market investor. If you physically can't handle losing more than you invest in the stock market, then you should not be in it. So if you invest $100,000 and you're not prepared to lose that, you're not prepared to lose 40, 50% value in one day, and knowing that will still go up over time, in the long run, you'll still make a lot of money doing it, but in the short term, it'll lose that value. Let's say a 2008 situation, you shouldn't be investing at all. One of the timeless lessons that Warren Buffett always invests with is if the business does well, then the stock price will follow. For example, I would say this a million times is, let's say if a stock market price isn't doing so well and it's a little shaky, but you know the company is extremely well, you understand the company, you love the vision, you know that sales are going up, the profit's really not there, but you know that the stock market price will follow if it's a great business, is Amazon, Tesla, Shopify. In the beginning, when these companies went public, they would skyrocket to $1 million overnight. They were really shaky. The profits really weren't there. I mean, the vision was extremely well, but they still needed more time and patience for the stock market prices to go up like crazy. It's a really, really important lesson that Warren Buffett teaches is if you truly believe in the company and you know it'll do well, make sure the company's vision and financials are still pretty good. You'll do good. Amazon didn't take a profit for over decades because they were trying to reinvest in the company and build more and more and more. Another amazing lesson Warren Buffett always invests with in his mindset is it's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price. What Warren Buffett means by this is it's better to buy a really, really great company that has lots of growth at a reasonable valuation than just an average, okay company, not really growing too much, but it's at a really good valued price. Again, overall, if the growth is still there on the fairly priced corporation, then you'll actually make more money over the long run. Good example of this that Warren Buffett really didn't talk about, but it's him buying Apple. He bought Apple at very fair market valuations 5-6 years ago, but right now, since they're growing like crazy, 20-30% per year, it's beating his other companies like energy and the railroad stocks he has. Now, knowing if something's fairly priced or not, you have to look at the PE ratio, which is price versus the earnings and the valuation, the market cap. It's like buying a property. If it's cash flowing you $1,500 a month and you buy it for $150,000, that's a pretty reasonable buy at a rental property like that. But if if you know it's $1,500 per month, they're getting 20% more every year. So next year is like $1,700, next year's $2,000 per month, next year's $2,200 per month, but that same property will cost you $170,000. Of course, you're going to take that. That is really the analogy I can put with real estate in that quote. And one of my favorite quotes from Warren Buffett, which I take this with extreme vigor and I hold on to a quote like this, and this is something that's really helped me in my stock market investment types, is Warren Buffett said, "Our favorite holding period is forever." What Warren Buffett really means by this is the best timeline for owning a stock is forever. If you buy a stock and you know that company's going to do well, you never want to sell it. You want to keep it forever, and you don't want to panic sell. So if you have the mindset you're going to own a stock forever, if a 2008 situation happens, just like we saw with Amazon, Apple, the price went down a lot, but it soared right back. So if you hold on forever, you won't panic sell and lose all that money. You'll keep the course and you'll make a lot of money. And the last real lesson that Warren Buffett really teaches that I really agree with, which I really like, is you should only buy stocks in companies that you understand. Mark Cuban also says this quote, "If you can't explain your stock to a 5-year-old within 2 minutes, then you shouldn't buy the stock at all." What he means by this is if you don't understand the company, then you won't be able to understand the financials, the actual plan for the future, why you're actually holding on to the company. Because when you buy a stock, you actually own a portion, a piece of that business. And just like anything, if I personally bought a pizza business, I would not know a dang thing about that company or the operations. I don't know what pizza people like. I don't know if it's pepperoni versus cheese. I don't know how to cook a pizza. I don't know what customers like. I don't know what the plan to actually make more money running a pizza business is. I mean, I have a tiny plan. I mean, I like to eat pizza, but I don't know the pizza business in and out. I don't know the restaurant business. Why would I own stock? But if I bought a real estate investing business, I'd know that thing like back of my hand. So like the companies that I own, Apple, I know their business very well. iPhones, I know people my age love their iPhones. They love their MacBooks. They love the devices that they do. They have a great services industry. Their AirPods are amazing. I think it's a great corporation. They'll stay the course of time. Microsoft, I love Xbox. I love the computer software that they have, PowerPoint, Excel, things like that. I mean, and then Amazon, they're here to dominate the world. Their AWS, Amazon Web Services, is absolutely amazing. People buy it. There's one-day shipping on there now. It's a very easy business for me to understand. I've done my research into it, and I can explain it like to a 5-year-old. So to go back and to look at Warren Buffett's top stock holdings as a reference for you to know how much his company actually owns in these stocks, to kind of see if, hey, maybe I should buy these. Here are they. Number 9 is Davidia Incorporated. Davidia Incorporated, which is like a healthcare company, really does most of their business through kidney dialysis centers. I don't understand that business too well, but I know it helps a lot of people. Number 8 is US Bancorp, which is US Bank. Number 7 is Wells Fargo, which might be a shocker to you, but that's a banking stock. Number 6 is Moody's Corporation, which is basically a financial services company. 5 is Kraft Heinz. You might just think of ketchup, but they own a lot of other things. They own a lot of prepackaged food, meats, cheeses, Lunchables, all that fun stuff. Kraft Heinz actually owns. So it's really a food company. Number 4 is American Express, which processes credit cards, and it's really a credit card company. Number 4 is American Express, which is another financial services company. They own a lot of credit cards too. They do a lot of financial services for a lot of people. Number 3 is Coca-Cola. You know Warren Buffett loves the stock. It's a great long-term hold. It is one of the most valued brands in the entire world. Everyone loves Coke. It's a great business to own, and they have a really good dividend. Number 2 is Bank of America, which is a bank here in the United States. And number 1 is Apple. Warren Buffett has gone crazy on Apple lately, and it's a great stock. It's one of my top holdings. So that's it, guys. That is actually how to invest like Warren Buffett. I gave you a list of the stocks he owns. I mean, he owns way more than that. I actually didn't know this. You know, he actually owns the entirety of Geico, which is kind of crazy. But again, Warren Buffett owns a lot of stocks. He actually owns a little bit of Amazon too. But Warren Buffett has used his traditional values he's learned from his mentors, and from his actual personal investment philosophy to become a billionaire, and 80 billionaires together into one, 6th richest man in the world through the stock market. This is his philosophies he recommends for you guys to become millionaires too in the stock market. So I appreciate you watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you next time.